Okay, good afternoon, everybody. It's 12:05. We're going to get started. Thanks for being here for the SB Express Lanes monthly webinar. My name is Sarah King, and I have Tim Watkins, Sarah Maukus, Madison Viola, and Tina Day joining me behind the scenes. We are with the San Bernardino County Transportation Authority, and you are here joining the May webinar for the I-10 Express Lanes project. A couple of items before we get underway with our presentation. Today, we'll be highlighting sights, sounds, and services along the construction corridor. Our webinar will be recorded and posted on our website at go.sbcta.com/I-10 corridor for those who couldn't join us live today. And as part of the webinar feature, your microphone is automatically muted and your cameras are automatically disabled. We will be using the Q&A function to answer your questions. Our team will provide written responses in real time. And at the conclusion of the presentation, we will highlight and respond to some key themes and topics that we might be seeing from those questions. We will be launching a few polls throughout our presentation. The polls are an interactive way to help us learn a little bit more about you and gauge your awareness levels on some of the topics we'll be discussing today. So we hope that you participate in those polls. And finally, this is an informational meeting to educate you about this project. We believe all positions, both positive or negative, related to SBCTA activities should have a voice in the process. However, we expect that this will be done in a respectful manner. SBCTA reserves the right to monitor, filter, and remove content or participants that our team deems inappropriate. For those who may not be familiar with Zoom's platform, the Q&A box can be found at the bottom of your screen. Simply click on where it says Q&A and a pop-up will appear on your screen where you can type in your question and we will respond to those using this feature. You may still see the chat feature at the bottom of the screen. However, chats will only be directed to the panelists and possibly utilized to receive additional information on some of the questions that might require further research. If you are joining us from a landline and using the call-in option, please email your questions to info@gosbcta.com. So with that, we will get started. The SB Express Lanes in San Bernardino County will provide approximately 10 miles of express lanes along I-10 in each direction from the LA San Bernardino County line to the I-15 interchange. That's the highlighted portion on the left side of the map here. It includes 2 tolled express lanes in each direction in the median of the freeway, and anyone can choose to use them for a fee once they open in 2023. Construction broke ground in spring 2020, and the project will keep the current configuration with no changes to the 4 general purpose lanes or the auxiliary lane to assist drivers with merging on and off the freeway between ramps. But we are adding 2 tolled express lanes in each direction and a shoulder where the 1 HOV lane currently is. Construction is anticipated to be complete in 2023. Now, express lanes are not new to Southern California. However, the I-10 express lanes will be the first express lanes in San Bernardino County. There are express lanes in our neighboring counties, such as the 91 in Orange and Riverside counties, the I-15 express lanes that recently opened in Riverside, the I-10 and 110 up in LA, the toll roads of Orange County, and then express lanes even further south in San Diego County. So we're going to launch our first poll. Madison, if you can launch that for us. We're asking those who are joining our webinar today if you've used any of the express lanes listed here in Southern California. This is a multiple choice question, so please select all that may apply. So now what's all the hype about express lanes? Well, they offer a choice to the drivers and they relieve congestion and provide trip reliability throughout the corridor. And express lanes benefit all drivers because those who choose to pay to use the express lanes also free up space in the general purpose lanes. Fast Track is what's used to collect tolls on every tolled bridge, lane, and road in the state of California. And a pre-established Fast Track account will be required to pay for tolls and receive the lowest toll price on the SB Express lanes when they open in 2023. Madison, can we take a look at our poll results? Okay, so it looks like the majority of people joining us today have used the toll roads of Orange County, and then sprinkled everywhere I-15 in San Diego County, the 91 express lanes, the Metro's express lanes, and then a few of you have never used express lanes. So for those of you who have traveled in express lanes before, you likely have a Fast Track with one of the agencies that were listed there. And if so, then you're all set to use the SB Express lanes when they open because Fast Track is interoperable throughout the state. Now, if you don't have a Fast Track account and maybe when these open in 2023, you might be visiting someone in San Bernardino County or traveling through the county, but bottom line, you'd likely be an infrequent user of the I-10 express lanes in San Bernardino County. you have an option to pay for tolls online within 5 days after your trip using the pay online feature. So this is a unique feature to San Bernardino County. As I shared, you will need fast track for the other facilities that we've listed here. We're going to launch our next poll asking how many passengers do you typically travel with? So if you'd like to be eligible for toll discounts and pay the lowest toll amount while using the I-10 express lanes, you will need a fast track account and a switchable transponder to declare or identify how many passengers are traveling with you. If you have 3 or more people in your vehicle, or if you drive a clean air vehicle or ride a motorcycle, you will be able to use the express lanes at no or low cost. Others may choose to pay a toll and use the express lanes as an alternative to the general purpose lanes. Madison, let's take a look at our results. Okay, so it looks like the majority of you here are solo drivers. And then of just a few of you have more than 3 people that you're typically traveling with. So again, if you're a solo driver, these express lanes will simply give you the choice to speed up your commute for a toll. And carpoolers may ride the lanes at low or no cost, but I think it's important to remember that those who choose to pay a toll improve traffic not only for themselves, but also for everybody traveling within the corridor by freeing up space in the regular lane. Now, since spring of last year, crews have been hard at work building the first phase of the SB Express Lanes project. Construction occurs during daytime and nighttime hours and involves work in the lanes, on our on and off ramps, along the shoulder to the freeway, and even our local streets and roads. There are 18 bridges throughout the corridor that are either being widened, replaced, or improved to accommodate for the widening of the freeway to add the express lanes. And retaining walls and sound walls along the freeway are coming down and going right back up. Crews are also rehabilitating the main line, and lots of utilities are being relocated. Lanes are also being shifted or narrowed, so if you happen to travel within this area, you may see a lot of construction vehicles entering and exiting the freeway as part of this project. Now, because we're widening the footprint of the freeway, our crews need to take down and rebuild all the retaining and sound walls that are between the neighborhoods and the freeway. As part of this work, they're also relocating utilities and removing trees on several local streets adjacent to the I-10. You may have seen a sign like what's shown here on the slide indicating that something up ahead is closed. And so while your commute on the I-10 may look different from week to week, your commute on local streets may also look a little bit different because of these activities. So these street and lane closures are needed to allow our crews to work safely and allow us to get through to widening the freeway and building the retaining walls and sound walls. But this specific work as it relates to the walls takes place during weekdays only, during both daytime and nighttime hours. Now, today we are working on 11 of the 18 bridges within the 10-mile corridor. I'm only going to highlight a couple of bridges here today. The Sultana Avenue Bridge closed about a year ago, and we're just a month away from opening the new bridge and welcoming back motorists and pedestrians over the bridge. Current daytime and nighttime activities include building slabs that connect the bridge to the street, which is the gap that you see here on the bottom photo where our construction crew members are. So that area will be filled with dirt, and then concrete will be placed over it so that you have a drivable surface to be able to cross the bridge. So if you work or live near Sultana Avenue or any of the bridges within our project zone, please be aware that bridge work can be loud and you may feel vibration from the bridge activities during both daytime and nighttime hours. Now this summer, 6th Street and Campus Avenue over I-10 will close to all vehicles, pedestrians, and bicycle traffic to allow crews to prepare for demolition. We just used Sultana Avenue as an example here on this slide. This was a full reconstruction, and so both 6th Street and Campus Avenue bridges will be full reconstructions. So you see Sultana here spanning the I-10 freeway before our crews took down the bridge, and then there you magically don't see a bridge at all, but crews are working to rebuild the new bridge. So 6th Street is tentatively planned to be closed as early as mid-June, and demolition is anticipated to occur likely late June or early July. So more information regarding dates and detours for both 6th Street and Campus Avenue bridges will be provided as additional details become available. Once the original bridge is demolished, crews will rebuild the bridges, essentially making them longer to accommodate for the widening of the freeway below. Currently, to prepare for this work, utility relocation is occurring at both locations. So now we're going to dive into the focus of today's webinar, the sights, sounds, and services along the construction corridor. As summer approaches and school is coming to a close for the year, you may find yourself on the road more often. I just read an article today about county fairs and music festivals and different events that are starting to open up to the public. And so it's safe to say that compared to a year ago from today, we will be venturing out much more than we were last year. But construction is in full swing within San Bernardino County, especially here on the I-10 corridor. So we just want to make you aware of the various sites you'll see and encounter along your route. But simply put, you're going to be seeing a lot of different equipment, crew members, changes, and shifts in your commute. Here is just a snapshot of some of the things that you will see out on our project site. We've got cranes, excavators, concrete pulverizers, pumps, pavers and mixers, grinders, cure rigs and stripers, water trucks, dump trucks, pile drivers, lights, and traffic control devices, bobcats, and forklifts. So that's just to name a few. I'm sure there's quite a lot more. But what will you hear or you experience? And it'll be hammering, pounding, backup alarms, and engines. So we understand firsthand that construction can be a short-term inconvenience for a long-term traffic solution, but our crews are working around the clock to ensure that you have a safe and sustainable transportation system for years to come. So we appreciate your patience throughout this project. So we're going to highlight some of the key equipment that you'll be seeing out on the roadway. Let's start with excavators. Excavators are an essential piece of equipment for any construction project. As I've shared, crews are working to replace, widen, or improve 18 bridges and reconstruct retaining walls and sound walls throughout the project area. And so workers use excavators for heavy-duty digging and hauling off materials. They come in a variety of types and sizes and can be used with various attachments like a bucket or hammer. Buckets are the most standard excavator attachment, which is what you see here. Actually, you can see the bucket at the end of the excavator. And hammers help expedite the demolition process. On the I-10 Express Lanes project, excavators are used for breaking ground, digging trenches, lifting heavy materials, crushing pavement, and demolishing a bridge. So the left photo is an excavator with a bucket attachment doing some prep work for a wall. And the right photo shows the concrete being broken up and hauled away from a bridge that was just taken down. Standard sized excavators weigh between 10 and 45 tons, and heavy duty excavators can sometimes weigh more than 45 tons. So just to put that into perspective, an elephant, which is the largest of all land animals, weighs between 3 to 4 tons, which means just each of the large excavators seen here is equivalent to more than 10 elephants. So we're really dealing with a lot of heavy duty equipment on our freeways. For pile driving, once a bridge is demolished, foundations for the new bridge can begin requiring new piles or other structures. Piles can either be steel or concrete or a combination of both. They are an essential part of the underground structures needed to create the foundation that support the new road, bridge, or ramp. A pile driver is a device used to push piles by vibrating or hammering the pile into the soil. And now, how deep are the piles going into the ground? It really all depends on the Earth's soil and the operation, and so it can vary. But usual depths range from 20 to 100 feet into the ground. So just try to imagine about an 8-story building, but underground. That's where these piles are going. Now, if you live or work near one of our pile driving operations, you may have seen our team distributing flyers door to door because we want to prepare you in advance of this type of operation. With pile driving, you'll hear a steady cadence of a very loud and large ding or ring of a bell, and that's the hammering of the steel pile going into the ground. It's really something you can't miss. Again, I can't stress this enough. We appreciate your patience and understanding throughout this operation and the entire construction along the corridor. And if you live or work nearby, you will know that this operation can be very loud, and you may even feel vibrations at times. Now, along the I-10 Express Lanes corridor, crews are paving and reconstructing the bridges, also curbs, gutters, and even sidewalks. So a concrete mixer is used to mix cement, powder, sand, water, and gravel to form a slurry that hardens into concrete. The trucks seen here have a large drum which turns when it's filled with wet concrete so that the concrete will not harden. Crews then pour the concrete into forms or molds, which is what you see here on the right photo, while the truck continues to spin, causing humming and vibrations until the job is complete. Now, once concrete is mixed, it has a set pour time, so oftentimes concrete plans are local to the project area. And once the concrete is poured, crews take into account cure times for the concrete to harden or dry before we can allow people or vehicles to travel over the surface. So as we've discussed, there's a lot of activities taking place day and night on the on and off ramps, the main lines, and our local streets. And all these types of activities require safety measures for the traveling public and the crew around them. As you can see here on both photos, There is live traffic going on either side of the operation. So safety is of utmost importance for you as our traveling public, but also for the crews. And to maintain access to the traveling public, the space within a construction zone can sometimes be pretty tight or constrained. As such, all of the construction equipment that we've discussed and seen here in the presentation is equipped with backup alarm. The repetitive beeping noise emitted from backup alarms on trucks and construction equipment is a critical safety component to keep crews safe at the work site. The backup alarms on the trucks are there because a driver may not be able to see behind him. And so that beeping tells people behind the truck that a vehicle is moving and they should be aware and stay safe. So now we've talked a lot about different types of activities, of course, the equipment that goes along with those activities. But bottom line, the work is taking place around the clock. So a little bit of understanding so that you might be prepared when we do share this information within our closure alerts or on social media. The contractor works very closely with its subcontractors and the construction crew members to schedule and plan activities during the appropriate closure windows. For example, a daytime closure is typically from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. A nighttime closure is typically from 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. We have the 10 freeway, which meets the I-15. And so there are connectors as part of this project that need to be worked on, and they have their own set of work windows that crews can work in. There are also 55-hour closure windows, and those typically take place between a Friday night and Monday morning and are planned throughout the duration of the project for the next 2 years. So now, while they're not necessarily a full shutdown of the freeway, these are 55-hour lane closures, but they still impact your commute, something you should be aware of and prepare for in advance. But they allow our crews to perform necessary work over an extended period of time that they might not be able to finish over one night. And then we have 10-day ramp closures, and these are necessary for crews to restrike lanes, place K-rail, set up traffic control, and realign the ramps with the newly widened freeway, which requires closures over multiple consecutive days. In fact, this morning at 5 a.m., we opened the Haven Avenue westbound on-ramp after closing it for 10 days, which took place on May 17th. So finally here, we've got a key critical service that helps those in need. It's our Freeway Service Patrol, most commonly known as FSP. So Madison, if we can launch our next poll question, we're asking anyone who's on our webinar today if they've ever had to use FSP. FSP serves as the roadway heroes. If you've ever been stranded on the freeway, in need of a gallon of gas, a jump start, or help changing a flat tire, there are multiple trucks that are patrolling San Bernardino County freeways during the work week to assist motorists during peak commute hours. FSP is on the lookout to help motorists in need and to keep our busy freeways moving by getting disabled vehicles off the road and out of harm's way. It's a service that you hope you may never have to need, but if you do find that you need them, you're so glad and grateful that they are there looking out for you. FSP provides service to motorists at no cost, and they can assist you with car trouble that just keeps to make sure that they keep the freeway moving and reduce the chance of any secondary accidents. Madison, can we take a look at our poll results? Okay, so, a lot of, hopefully this was new information then, because it looks like a lot of you selected no, you don't know what FSP does. So again, they're the roadway heroes. They're the ones that help you when you are in need. Of course, if you're in an emergency, please call 911. But these vehicles are patrolling San Bernardino County freeways during the work week to get your vehicle out of harm's way and assist you as much as they can. If you are in need of FSP and you don't happen to see them right at the moment, you can always call the CHP dispatch public line at 909-428-5400, or you can use the nearest call box if you feel safe in doing so. We're on the home stretch of our presentation. Thanks again for joining us. The next couple of slides are going to focus on our community outreach and tools that are available to help you navigate our project. Our team and our information can be found in a variety of ways. We're going to ask our next poll question, and we're asking, how do you receive our project information? It's multiple choice, so you might be receiving it in more ways than one, but hopefully you're receiving the information on a platform that works best for you. Our information across the platforms is consistent. If there's a closure, we want you to be prepared. If there's a major activity, like I mentioned, the pile driving, even bridge demolition, near where you might live or work, we want you to be informed in advance. And we offer this information in a variety of ways to ensure that you select the platform that works best for you. We have a robust website, gosbcta.com/I-10 corridor, where you can sign up to receive our weekly construction alerts. We offer a text alert program to receive text alerts. You can simply text I-10 Express Lanes to 888-525-1021. And we're super active on social media and encourage you to follow Go SBCTA on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, and you get to see some bonus footage of behind the scenes construction activities like what we've seen here today. Madison, before we move forward, can we take a look at our poll results? All right, so it looks like the majority of those joining us today are receive information on our weekly construction alerts and on social media. So thanks for receiving our information and signing up. Here's a snapshot of some of the collateral that we share. Far left is a community notice that was distributed door to door to residents in the vicinity of a specific operation. It looks like the Mountain Avenue partial bridge demolition. The center is an example of what our weekly construction alert looks like. So those of you who you receive our information from our weekly alerts, this should be pretty familiar to you. We send these out on Friday afternoons with the upcoming week's construction activities, and it's so that you're prepared for the week ahead. They're packed with valuable information about key activities, bridge work, freeway lanes, on and off ramps and local streets, and all the different types of closures that I shared on our closure slide. And then on the very right, you'll see one of what we call a city sheet. So if you were to select on one of the green boxes on the bottom of the construction alert, Montclair, Ontario, or Upland, it will provide you specific information as it relates to this project, but to that specific city. So again, as I'm sharing now that we're getting close to summer, it's getting warmer outside, we want to venture a little bit more out of our home area, our home base. This might be helpful so that you're aware of what might be closed or impacted in your local city. All right, and then you've seen it here. You might have experienced it on the road, but this project has a number of different operations activities. And so therefore we have closures as part of that, which we've already discussed. So we always encourage you to plan ahead, allow for extra time to reach your destination, or seek alternate routes to avoid the construction area during this time. Construction is dynamic and schedules may change, but all real-time closures and detours can be found on the project's Google map at gosbcta.com/I-10 corridor. Here are a few screenshots of our Google map, and you can access it from the website, download or bookmark it on your computer or mobile phone, and it will give you the most real-time, up-to-date information on closures and detours. When you click on an individual icon, you see a bunch of red or blue icons here on the map. Additional details will appear identifying the specific closure times, as well as the recommended detour that may be convenient for your commute. So this is a really valuable resource, and hopefully many of you are using that out there today. And that brings us to our final slide, which is our CHP Safety Reminder. Construction, as you've heard today and seen today, is progressing on the I-10 Express Lanes project and many other highway projects within San Bernardino County. So as you venture out on the road, please be aware that your commute on the freeway or local streets may be different. Remember to slow down, obey the posted speed limits, which for the I-10 Express Lanes project corridor is reduced to 55 miles per hour. This reduced speed limit is in effect through project completion and is enforced by the California Highway Patrol. And please watch for workers and construction equipment and be alert on the lookout for new striping and shifting of lanes. And just please always use caution while driving throughout the construction zone. So that concludes our presentation for our May webinar. Thank you so much for joining us. Hopefully you learned a little bit more information about the I-10, but really about all of the different types of equipment and the activities that take place, not just for this project, but many transportation infrastructure projects throughout the county. And it's just something to remember to be vigilant. Again, your surroundings might be different from week to week, and that there are a number of our crew members out there on the job site working day and night to improve our commute for the future. So quick reminder, please use the Q&A feature at the bottom of your screen to submit questions. If you're joining us with the call in from a landline, please email questions to info@gosbcta.com. So with that, we'll open it up to questions. Madison, have we seen any questions come through?
Hi, Sarah. Thank you so much. That was a great presentation. We do have a couple of questions. And like Sarah said, feel free to submit any other questions you may have using the Q&A feature, and we'll make sure to get to them. Our first question is a fast track question. Will I need a fast track if I'm traveling with 3+ people?
If you would like to, that's a really great question. If you'd like to receive a discount for a toll on the I-10 Express Lanes in San Bernardino County, you will need a fast track account, and you will need the specific transponder that allows you to declare or identify how many passengers, in your case, 3. And that way you will be eligible to receive the discount. If you have a fast track sticker transponder, those are fairly newer types of transponders that just stick onto the inside of your windshield. You obviously won't have a chance to identify how many passengers you have. Therefore, you wouldn't be eligible to receive the discount. So if you are traveling with 3 or more people and you want to be able to receive that discount on the SB Express lanes, then you will need a transponder, a fast track transponder that allows you to make that change. Great question.
Thanks, Sarah. We have a second question, and this one I will direct towards Tim Watkins. When will the retaining walls and sound walls be placed along the project corridor? I think specifically, where can residents go to find out the sound wall and retaining wall schedules and information in their neighborhood? If you want to elaborate on that a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's the important thing to consider is how to get that information as it relates specifically to your circumstance, right? I don't have the exact answer to the question that they're asking specifically today, but by either emailing us at info@gosbcta.com or calling the helpline, then our team can interact with the construction field personnel to understand what the current status is, what the expectation is for the remainder of the work, so that people can get real-time information about what's going on. Construction is so dynamic that it's hard to stay on top of that on the top of mind. And so we rely on the construction team in the field to keep us up to date on that. And we're the conduit for that for those who live out near the project. Muted right now. Thank you.
I'm on mute. Sorry, you think I'd know how to do this after 14 months, everyone. That is all of our questions for today. Just as a reminder, we are always available at the info@gosbcta.com email address if you have questions outside of this presentation. But with that, I'll kick it back to Sarah to conclude today's webinar.
Thanks, Madison. I'm just going to echo what you shared. Thank you again for joining us. We know your time is valuable, so we appreciate that you're spending the lunch hour with us to learn a little bit more about the I-10 Express Lanes project. Email us anytime, call us anytime, and our team members will get back to you to answer your questions, and we look forward to seeing you at a future webinar. Thanks and have a great day. Oh, I'm sorry. Tim has his hand up.
Thank you for being the meeting. I want to offer some, we talked about sights and sounds and services along the corridor today. And one of the things that some of our attendees may have experienced this week is a power outage associated with the construction activity here on the I-10. And I think it's important that we do kind of remind people that those are some of the circumstances too. We talked about noise and vibration. Unfortunately, there's also times when we work with our utility partners to either relocate or to adjust services in the area. In the situation of electricity, that means high voltage systems that for the safety of the workers involved, we'd have to cut the power off temporarily. We try to advance that with information to the residents that are going to be affected, including not only the phone numbers for us and for the utility provider, in this case Edison, but also for tips on how to manage through those short-term circumstances. We also try to pick hours that minimize the overall impact, so that whether that's hopefully while most of those in attendance are sleeping, they're not even aware that the power is out. But it is definitely a very inconvenient circumstance to have to live through. And I should be upfront and let you know that there may not be in the same neighborhood, but there will be other outages that will probably occur throughout the life of this project. We do try to keep them to under 8 hours where possible, and to provide enough advance warning so that you can manage your circumstance. However, we recognize that each of you have an individual circumstance that may be unique and requires a little more attention. Please either email us or call us so that we can start to have a dialogue about how we can help mitigate that for you. We want to be helpful in the process, and for the most part, it's very manageable to live through a short-term closure with minimal disruption. But whether it's a medical device or some other thing that requires some unique circumstance that we need to help you with, we want to do that. So please know that as these moments come through your neighborhoods going forward.
Thanks so
Thanks.
much, Tim.
Yeah,
Sorry, I
thank you.
almost missed you there. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, that concludes our presentation. Thank you again, everyone, for joining us, and have a great day.